From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian.
Speaking of first, finally here tonight, we have something to show you for the very first time. A just-discovered photo of Helen Keller. The photograph was taken in the summer of 1888 on Cape Cod. This shows 8-year-old Helen holding the hand of her beloved teacher, Annie Sullivan, and a doll is in the picture. That turned out to be the first word Sullivan ever spelled into Helen's hand. The photo was found tucked inside a family album in Waltham, Mass, to be the earliest photo of these two very impressive women together.
In movies, and with good reason. Helen Keller, who was both blind and deaf, achieved great things.
Now a picture from her youth has resurfaced 120 years later. And as Eileen Kern shows us, it's giving people a fresh look at this remarkable woman and her teacher.
It's in remarkable condition, and clearly these were treasured images.
And what a treasure for historians and Helen Keller fans. This picture dating back to 1888, showing Keller as a child with her teacher, Anne Sullivan.
Our archival staff did research on it and discovered that it is really one of the most important images for Helen Keller that exists.
An elderly Waltham man donated his family photo albums to the New England Historic Genealogical Society. They include summer vacation photos at the Elijah Cobb Guest House in Brewster on Cape Cod. That is where this photo was taken of Keller and Sullivan.
The New England Historic Genealogical Society in Boston is relishing in quite a find, a recent discovery of one of the most impressive photos documenting the extraordinary life of Helen Keller. The rare photo of an 8-year-old Helen Keller and her teacher Anne Sullivan dates back to the 1800s and was donated to the society by longtime member Ted Spencer.
And he said that his family spent summers in Brewster in the late 1880s. And Helen Keller and Miss Sullivan happened to stay at the same home that his family did.
The photo is significant because it depicts the teacher, her pupil, and a doll that played a significant role in the learning process.
Well, last week it was revealed that our presidential candidates are related to some pretty surprising and famous celebrity-like people.
All right, here to talk about those relations and revelations is Brenton Simmons, the CEO and president of the New England Historic Genealogical Society, the actual organization who made those findings. Is any of it true?
Yeah, it's all that.
Hey, welcome back to Showbiz Tonight, TV's most provocative entertainment news show. I'm Brooke Anderson in Hollywood. Michael, Carolina, great to see you. And here's the deal. Researchers from the New England Historic Genealogical Society have discovered that Barack is the distant cousin.
From NBC News, this is Today with Matt Lauer and Meredith Vieira.
The New England Historic Genealogical Society has uncovered some interesting branches on the presidential candidates' family trees.
Chris Child is from the New England Historic Genealogical Society, a group that did extensive research on all three of the remaining presidential contenders.
Hillary Clinton has a French-Canadian great-grandmother, so you'll find all sorts of interesting connections with people of French-Canadian descent, and Angelina Jolie's mother was of French-Canadian descent.
Finally tonight, just when it seems we almost know too much about the candidates for president, we learned a lot more about them this week. Researchers at the New England Historic Genealogical Society have been looking into the family trees of the candidates.
We found out last year that Barack Obama was related to Vice President Dick Cheney. Loves to joke about it on the campaign trail.
But some researchers at the New England Historic Genealogical Society
that place.
did some more digging, not only into Obama's family tree, but that of Hillary Clinton and John McCain.
And finally, Hillary Clinton related to Angelina Jolie. Barack Obama related to Brad Pitt. Yes, it's true. According to the New England Historic Genealogical Society, which analyzed the candidates' family tree.
There are some big surprises hidden in all the candidates' family trees. Genealogists have discovered blood ties to celebrities, presidents, and more. Let's go back to Kate Baldwin. She's picking up this part of the story.
Turns out Obama is also distantly related to 5 former presidents: Bush, Ford, Johnson, Truman, and Madison. But that's not unusual, says one of the researchers.
If you could trace them back, say, 400 years, it's not particularly surprising to find these interesting connections. People come into our library all the time, and we do find, say, a half-dozen presidential connections.
Our number 5 story.
It's nothing but nepotism, people. The New England Historic Genealogical Society, sounds legit to me, right?
Well, by the way, the New England Historic Genealogical Society just announced some interesting twists in the Democratic race.
The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Now, a group called the New England Historic Genealogical Society is now claiming that Hillary Clinton is related to Angelina Jolie.
Now, tonight's cover story on NEHGS.
Take a stroll through the stacks of the New England Historic and Genealogical Society before you make out that invitation list for your next family reunion. Bearing every twisting branch of the family tree of the presidential candidates is the work of Chris Child, genealogist with the New England Historic and Genealogical Society of Boston.
Since Obama and Clinton were elected senators, I began to trace the genealogy with a lot of other online collaboration.